Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatley Tones Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Hope you're all doing well. Well, I've got some breaking news and it's some more Wings breaking news. And no, it's not that. It's not what you're thinking. It's not the archive collection, but it's pretty exciting breaking news nonetheless. The announcement of a new book with an author credit for Paul McCartney. So it's called it's a new book by Paul McCartney and it's called Wings, the story of a band on the run. So it's not another book about Band on the Run. Don't worry about that. It's not another book about Band on the Run because we don't need one of those. This is a book going through the entire history of Wings from its inception to its demise in 1981. So kind of a 10-year sort of period. You know, we've had something like this before. You know, with the Wingspan documentary, it came out in 2001. We got this book, which is, you know, it's a great picture book, but it's not much in the way of text in this, and there is going to be a lot of text in this book. It's 528 pages long. Now, Wings does seem to be the flavour of the month, and I'll come to that in a little bit more detail a bit later in the video. But there's been a lot of activity. You know, Paul, you know, has just come off the back of a very successful third leg of the Got Back tour in Central and South America and in Europe. A very successful tour. We've already had the announcement of the Half-Speed Master of Venus and Mars coming on the 21st of March. And then only last week, Paul played three very intimate gigs at the Bowery in New York as well. So Paul very much in the news at the moment. And today, the announcement of a new book, which credits him as an author. Now, we don't know too much about it at this stage. I'm kind of reading through the lines of the press release, which I will read in a minute. But it does seem that you know, most of this is probably comes from archival interviews with Paul, with members of the band, with other key players around the Wings circle as well. Whether there is any new interview material from Paul, you know, interview material that Paul has done specifically for this book is interesting, but not really known at the moment. But you know, you kind of get the fact that it's a book that's credited to Paul McCartney as the author. He's got heavy involvement in this, whether this is mainly comes from interviews from him or whether it's new interview material. Now, when you talk about new interview material from Paul, it always gets, you know, feels a little bit worrying because we know Paul is not a great historian as far as the Beatles or Wings or his past in general is concerned. You know, he's got his set stories and he kind of sticks to those, and that's what we get, and we kind of don't really need that again because we've heard them all before. What we're looking for is you know, new information. Whether we're going to get things, you know, information that we haven't had in, say, things like the McCartney legacy, where we know that Alan Kozin and Adrian Sinclair, you know, absolutely trawled the archives for information on Wings. Will there be something, you know, in this new book that hasn't already been revealed? Yet to wait and see. So let's just talk about what we do know. And the thumbnail of this video is what is being currently used as the jacket for the book, but it's not going to be it's not the official jacket. That is yet to be revealed. So let's just go to the press release. So it's called Wings, the story of a band on the run, edited with an introduction by Ted Widmer, coming on the 4th of November 2025. You can pre-order it now, and I'll talk about the pre-ordering stuff towards the end of the video. It says, a landmark account of Paul's triumphant musical reinvention in the 1970s and the subsequent rise of one of the decade's most iconic bands. And then Paul himself says, I'm so happy to be transported back to the time that was Wings and relive some of our madcap adventures through this book. Starting from scratch after the Beatles felt crazy at times, there were some very difficult moments and I often questioned my decision. But as we got better, I thought, okay, this is really good. We proved Wings could be a really good band to play to huge audience in the same way the Beatles had and have an impact in a different way. It was a huge buzz. So I'll just carry on reading the press release. I'm just going to paraphrase, but if you want to read the whole thing, it is all on Paul's website. So it says, drawn from over 500,000 words, based on dozens of hours of interviews with Paul and numerous key players in the band's orbit, Wings, the story of a band on the run, weaves together the improbable trajectory of Paul McCartney and his newly formed band across the technicoloured 1970s until their dissolution in 1981. Edited by prize-winning historian Ted Wilmer and organised around 9 Wings albums, the oral history sheds new light on the immediate aftermath and global impact of the Beatles breaking up as a musical landscape, and tastes begin to splinter and diverge along societal views. The narrative follows the various incarnations of the band as they survive mugging in Nigeria, appear unannounced at UK university halls, tour in a shared-off school bus with their children, and produce some of the most indelible and acclaimed music of the decade, including Mull of Kintyre, Live and Let Die, Band on the Run, My Love Jet, With a Little Luck, Silly Love Songs, Let 'Em In, Junior's Farm, and more. With more than 100 black and white and colour photos, many never seen before, Wings, the story of a band on the run, is part of a larger re-examination and appreciation of the group and their catalogue, including the 2024 theatrical release of the rare Wings live in the studio performance, One Hand Clapping, and its accompanying album. 50th anniversary editions of Wings albums, Band on the Run and Venus and Mars, and forthcoming documentary on Paul McCartney's solo and Wings related musical work of the 70s, and from Academy Award winning filmmaker Morgan Neville. And then Ted Wilmer says Wings was about love, family, friendship and artistic growth, often in the face of tremendous adversity. It was a joy to relive the madcap adventures of a special band by listening to their stories and compiling this oral history. The documentary that we're talking about is the one Man on the Run, which possibly will coincide with the release of this book towards the end of the year. We're not sure about the release date of that book just yet, but it could coincide. We could even see maybe a new Wings compilation coming out to accompany this book. It would be nice to get a much broader Wings retrospective than we got with Wingspan, which was kind of a little bit Wings and a little bit Paul McCartney solo, but an entire Wings retrospective would be good, because Wings Greatest doesn't quite cut it, and obviously All the Best has got solo stuff in it as well, so that will be interesting to see whether that happens. So I think that the main takeaway here is that there's still a lot to learn about what this book contains and how it's been compiled, and who's doing the legwork and that sort of thing. But one thing that does become very apparent is that Paul is at last taking Wings seriously, and for me this it reiterates even more, gives me even more confidence that we are going to see the archive editions of London Town and Back to the Egg, and probably Wings Over the UK coming out this year, if nothing else, as a precursor for this book later in the year. That this could be the whole reason why it's been held back so much, because obviously a book like this has been in the planning for quite some time. So again, we're going to have to wait and see, but I just feel confident that the archives of London Town, Back to the Egg and Wings Over the UK are on the way, and we'll see whether that materialises or not this year. But very exciting times. Now, you can pre-order this book now. if you go to Paul's website, there are links to all the the major players in the book selling world, Amazon, Waterstones, all that sort of thing, and all the different territories. The book is a hardback book. In the UK, it's going to be retail. Well, the pre-order price at the moment is £35. That could come down before release date, and obviously, if that happens and you pre-order it now, then you'll get it at the actual release date price, but you won't get it at any more than the pre-order price. So it will be a maximum of £35 at the moment. I think the US price is about $47 or something like that, but I don't really want to quote the US dollars because obviously, it depends on the tax in your state or whatever. But there are, this is available in lots of different territories. I've heard already that the link to order it for Australia isn't actually working at the moment. Surprise, surprise. Do let me know down in the comments if this is a book that interests you. I'm pretty excited about this and very much looking forward to finding out more. And as we learn more about this book as time goes on, you'll hear about it here. So please stay tuned to the channel for that, as I like to bring you that sort of news. Okay, that is pretty much it from me. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.